Welcome, guys, to another Picture-in-Picture Whiskey Tango Foxtrot broadcast. This is another day in the life of Mike. I'm going to show you exactly how you can see ghosts, aliens, Bigfoots, and any other creepy crawlies you may have in your house. Man, I hope you guys don't have Bigfoot in your house, because that would really suck. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so this video is going to contain a lot of information and we're just going to jump right into it. Okay, so there's a couple of things going on here that you need to understand. It's the flow of cerebral spinal fluid and the combination of fluids in your brain. Okay, so what we are told is that cerebral spinal fluid is just for brain buoyancy and shock absorption, which absolutely made no sense to me in high school, and it's good because I found out that it does so many more things, and in fact it's okay. Let's just get to it. Okay, so what's going on here is that the fluids are combining and they are putting you not in an altered state of consciousness. You're just able to see between the dimensions, or able to see the vesica piscis, in between the vesica piscis, which is that real special space that the reptiles can see into. Now, it is said that kids can see these things a lot easier, and the reason is because they have more of the cerebral spinal fluid in their system and they're not expelling it, and they are actually combining two energies. These two energies is known for in a lot of different ways, but we'll just call it the male and the female energies. And these two energies are combined in one. Children, little kids, don't have a reference point. They're just living their life, which is actually what we're supposed to be doing. When the two are one, your body will be full of light. That's in the Bible somewhere. I know it is. Maybe somebody can comment and exactly where it is, because that's exactly what's happening here. Because when you combine the two energies, you become a staff, like a beacon. Like illumination happens, and that's what kids are walking around. They're walking around illuminated. You know, they have no fear. Initially, they have no fear. They're just joyful, which is very important. You have to have joy in your life. Now, you may think that, well, some of these people that are seeing ghosts and aliens and stuff, that they're not very happy, but there's a lot of different things going on here. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is an excerpt from Mario Zapatera's presentation. I saw this and I had to have it. He has a lot of work on YouTube, and I suggest you follow him on Twitter and on his YouTube channel, because you'd be amazed what this fluid is. Okay, so let's just read this off. The CSF, a sensitive receiver and transmitter of energy, vibrations, and information. The soul swims in the CSF, Dr. Randolph Stone. The cerebral spinal fluid seems to act as a storage field and a conveyor for the ultrasonic and light energies. Also, Dr. Randolph Stone. Dr. Still envisioned the cerebral spinal fluid as an intermediary in the movement of divine intelligence, a channeling of creation into embryological segments and irrigating them with life, giving form and function and order and intelligence to our existence. Now you're starting to tie in quantum physics with what I just read. Now, I hope you guys are following me here, because this fluid, when it comes in contact with the pineal gland and the pituitary body, and when those glands secrete their hormones and they combine, that's when you get that real special vesica piscis, the spiritual eye, that third eye, that vision, that sight beyond sight. Okay, so here's another thing that's happening here. The pineal gland is the mind's eye. What's fascinating is that the interior of the pineal gland actually has retinal tissue composed of rods and cones, photoreceptors inside the interior lining, just like the eye, and is even wired into the visual cortex and the brain. Now, when the cerebral spinal fluid, where all this is happening, is in the thalamus, the Mount of Olives, Mount Olympus. It's all in there, guys. It's all the same stuff. It's just worded differently in different times or whatever. So when all that stuff is combined and expressed through the body, you get that sight beyond sight. Like I said, kids are doing this all the time, but what's really required is the transmutation of this energy through all the 7 glands, which are the 7 chakras, which are the 7 churches, which are the 7 seals, which are the 7, and I can just keep going on and on and on. But as adults, it becomes a lot more difficult because you start becoming more addicted to the lower ones, like the sacral chakras, lust, because they all correspond to the 7 deadly sins, which you must transmute and convert them into virtues. And as you're doing, you're collapsing the chakras. Chakras aren't good things. You need to surpass them. You need to get that cerebral spinal fluid up. Okay, so as it says here, that the pineal gland is known for all that because it's got rods and cones, and it secretes DMT, serotonin, melatonin, and I believe the pituitary body secretes vasopressin and oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is the love hormone. It's also the creation hormone. So in order for you to manifest something into your existence, into your reality, you need to combine you need to combine these oils with the cerebral spinal fluid in order to get that expression, because the 5 senses, they're actually 7, but the 5 senses that we usually work with are receiving and what is that word? Translating information. So when you, like, let's say you can taste the color purple, you can see the color purple, you can feel the color purple, you can hear the color purple, and so on. So everything is just a vibration. So this wall here is a vibration, this mic here is a vibration, and I can't remember where I heard it, but they said that all matter is a frequency, a vibration at different rates, or something like that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so this is another image of a pine cone, and the pineal gland has this exact shape. So what's happening, and I didn't read the top part, but a pineal gland fluoride is deposited here as a result of consumption of fluoridated water. So what the deep state is actually doing is making you it's making your pineal gland, it's turning into a rock. See, ordinarily the pineal gland already has a natural film on it, and it's like a Peter in the pearly gates. So when the cerebral spinal fluid makes it up, and it depends on how much of the cerebral spinal fluid you can make up. Ideally 10%, because that's as much as required to lift the seed of creation, and have it expressed through the third ventricle. The cerebral spinal fluid is required to decalcify it, the pineal gland. So what's happening here is that the fluoride is making it a lot harder, because we all know that Peter is also known like a soft rock, and it is dissolvable in oil, but the fluoride is making it a lot harder for the normal people that can't see these things to do that. So if you're not raising up enough oil because you're over here living in gluttony and lust and whatever the other 7 deadly sins are, how are you ever gonna have divine intelligence? Okay, so here we see a snake, because they have a vestigial third eye, and they can see that sight beyond sight. That's why they can see in thermal vision. They can also see in the ultraviolet light, I would think, because where the beginning is, there shall the end be also, because we're actually a circle. We think we're humans, we're walking around with 2 legs and a head, and we don't realize that they're actually connected, because they send the energy back up, depending on which leg you're sending the energy up through. Right side, left side, right chest, left. Not a lot of people know this, but the word sinister is a Hebrew word for left. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Okay, here's a gecko with a vestigial third eye. They still have it. I mean, they can see things that we can't, and it's because Well, their anatomy has provided that it stays up there, but ours is obviously withdrawn and is in. That's why Jesus said that be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves, because you have to raise the oil with the serpents, which, like I said, was the male energy and the female energy, combine them into one, and you have enlightenment. Okay, so here is the image of the chakras, and nobody has to be afraid of these, because these are just the glands in the body. In fact, the green chakra is the heart chakra. It's an anagram: heart, earth, same letters, same word. It's the center point, the in-between point for the entire body. So as the oil is coming up, it's transmuted here, and it keeps going, and you get to the third eye, and this enlightenment happens. A lot of people think that the third eye is it, but no, you get the enlightenment, and then you get the transfer of information from the ether into the third eye, and you're able to receive it, to feel it, to have experience with it. Okay. This is another image of the chakras and the snakes. This is not evil, guys. It's all the same thing. Once you learn how to synchronize everything, this just becomes another part of it. Okay, so this is the male energy, the female energy, or vice versa, or the negative and the positive, or the magnetic and the electric, or the Isis or the Osiris, the Joseph and the Mary. This is all the same thing. And in between here, you have the raising of the fluid, the Christ fluid, because everybody knows that everyone knows Jesus Christ, but not a lot of people know that it was Jesus the Christ. Robert Morningsky said something about the passion of the Christ, and I investigated, and he said that something like that Jesus came down as the physical representation of what's inside you. And I just had to find out where does he exist in me. So I found out. Okay, so I mean, you start to get into like quantum physics here, guys. So there's a guy named Randy Kramer, and he's opposite Corey Good, and he's working from Corey Good's Solar Warden and Randy Kramer's Radiant Guardian, and he talks about a quantum fluid that is extracted, and that's going to get into my missing 401, my next missing 401 video. But basically, it's a quantum fluid. See, cerebral spinal fluid is a quantum fluid, and it does all this stuff. Okay, so here we have another image of the chakras aligned with all the glands in the body. And we go from the sacral chakra at the very bottom, which is the exit point, which is Saturn. At the very top, we have Jupiter, the crown chakra. And then we have the oil. As you can see, it would climb up here, and then it would enter the third ventricle, the Mount of Olives, the Mount of Olives, the Mount Olympus. And it would combine with the pituitary and the pineal gland. The fluids combine, and then you get enlightenment, and then you can see out of your third eye. And this is where kids and people who are able to transmute this energy are getting all this power, because a lot of people are just stuck in here, in gluttony and sacral chakra and lust, and I'm not sure what the spleen chakra is for, but it's there. So I mean, a lot of fit people may not be able to get past some of these other chakras, because, like I said, they all correspond to one of the 7 deadly sins. So kids have no problem with any of this stuff. They're just constantly just raising the fluid, transmuting it, and you got to remember that the oil is actually replenished and renewed just about every 6 hours, so about 4 times a day. Now that gets into 4 times a year, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the equinoxes and the solstices, and the 4 cardinals, and like it's amazing what you can start to learn, because people don't know that it's actually a circle. And Jesus said in Thomas, "He who has discovered the world has discovered a corpse, and of him the world is not worthy," because this information is priceless. Like, the reason that you can see these beings is because you're in this area, okay? Where the beginning is, there shall the end be also. So there's like a little black and white zone, because what happens is red goes off into the infrared. purple goes into the ultraviolet, and off into white. No, I'm sorry. Red goes into black, and the ultraviolet goes into white. So then you have combination of those light energies, and there's this meeting point, and that's where you want to be in order to be able to see these beings that are just about. Now, it doesn't mean that they're all bad or anything like that. It just means that you can see them now. So what's happening is at 3 a.m. when you wake up, you have become a vibrational equivalent to these beings that are around you. That's why a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night and they see something, or they hear something, or they see the shadow person. It's not that they're coming for a visit. They're around you all the time. So when you combine these fluids, and what happens at 3 a.m, that's why it's called the witching hours. That it depends on, well, as long as you're going to sleep at a normal time, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's why they say that Jesus comes and will have a conversation with you, as long as you're awake, and let him not find you asleep. So what happens is you wake up, and I don't know if anybody else sees these colors and stuff, and it's the flower or the eye or whatever. Because what's happening is you're combining these energies, and you get to see that flower chakra, that flower energy coming out through your vision. Because you can now see, because you've been at rest, you become resonant with the other dimensions, let's say. Okay, so here we also have this Anunnaki, and who has a pineal gland on his right hand, the righteous. And then you have this little bag that he's carrying. Everybody wonders what's in it. Well, it's probably cerebrospinal fluid, because you need to ascend the oil. That's why he's holding it down. And then you have to raise it to your brain, and then he's got wings of enlightenment. And then you got the pineal gland for creation, and that's why it's pointing forward, because you need to think about it as like a magic creator cone, just creating in front of you, because everybody's doing it all the time. People just doing it at different rates. You want to become a policeman since you're a kid, you eventually become a policeman. You want to own your own business, you have this process that you go through in your brain. Depending on how much of the cerebrospinal fluid you're raising, it goes into the law of attraction. It shows you how long it's going to take you to actually manifest it. Now, you can do it instantly, or you can prolong it over time, depending on how good you are at transmuting these energies through the seven glands, the 7 chakras. Okay, so this is what happens when you wake up in the middle of the night. You have, I'm not going to say that you can see this weird looking thing in the middle of your forehead, or in the middle of your vision. It just is your vision. You can just see, beyond sight beyond sight, spiritual eye. Okay, so this is another image of where the beginning is. There shall the end be also. You got the black and the white. Then you have the 2 triangles, which is the brain. The skull, Calvary, Golgotha. And then you have the sacrum, the sacral eye. And you have them combining. And then what you get in 3D space is tetrahedron, which is the smallest waveform, which depending on what your angle of creation is, these little triangles kind of overlap on each other, and will basically point you in a different direction or whatnot. That's my understanding. Okay, so how do you raise this oil? What's the best way to start? And basically, you need to control your hunger. Hunger is the first element of self-discipline. If you can control what you eat and drink, you can control everything else. Aside from the deep state making this extremely difficult, putting all that crap in your water, all this crappy food that Americans eat, what did I eat? It shows you the process to enlightenment. And this guy over here represents most Americans, most people in general, that can't ascend the oil to manifest anything, and they basically are stuck here in gluttony or lust, because what happens when you eat a lot, you become more aroused, because what's happening is all the energy is down there, and then you want to go to sleep, and you never really get anywhere, because you're just eating 3 meals a day. That real way to do it is intermittent fasting and eat the right way. And there is actually eating right for your sign, depending on your cornerstone. No, that's another video. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so then you have the other guy who already realized, you know what, maybe I should stop eating meat or whatnot. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. And then stop drinking the alcoholic beverages or the Cokes and stuff. You go on to the other guy who's eating right. He's got a normal wave of creation coming from the sun, or the energy giver. And then as you can see, I mean, the sun's not a bad, guys. It's not sun worship. I'll get into that later. But the sun, the sun it's all the same word. The energy is good. Plants follow the sun. Have you guys ever noticed that? Plants follow the sun and they'll grow towards the sun. Humans are the same thing. We're all vibrational frequency energy beings. And then you got the other guy who's only drinking water. And then you got the advanced dude who doesn't eat anything. Because you got to realize what kills a human being is the food we eat, the food we consume, and the air we breathe, because all of it's contaminated. It's actually killing you. Okay. So then here we go. Because what's going on here is that there's the third eye, the thalamus, or the eye of Horus. Thalamus is the optical thalamus, and that's where all this is happening. All the fluids are combining and stuff. And there's a big difference between the eye of Horus and the eye of Ra. The Sac-Ra eye is correspondent with Saturn, Satan, death, hell, and the eye of Horus is actually correspondent to Jupiter, Jesus, Zeus. Horus is in Egypt was the son of Isis and Osiris, I believe, and also known as the Ida or the Pingala, Joseph, the Mary. You got Jesus, and then in Greek, I think it was Zeus and I'm going to butcher that one. Zeus and Aphrodite and Mercury, maybe? Okay. So then here you have the almond's horn, or what is it? What is it? Well, anyways, it's a third ventricle, and this shows you where the cerebral aqueduct is. So the cerebral spinal fluid is coming up here. All the energies mix here in the third ventricle, and then what happens? Once the fluid is transmuted and is renewed, it comes back out here through these arachnoid sinuses, or like little holes that come out this way, and then they come directly through to the heart from the jugular. So the cerebral spinal fluid actually interacts with the bloodstream here in the third ventricle through these things called the choroid plexus, and it's this thin sheet of epithelial cells, of cuboidal epithelial cells, that allow the transfer of information between the cerebral spinal fluid and the blood, and then the blood takes the information, directs it directly to the heart from the jugular, and it is expressed through the entire body. So you guys can make your connection points from there. And this is another image of how Mercury would rise up in the pyramid, and its cerebral spinal fluid inside the human body, and it would come up through here, and and depending on how much you raised, it would mix with the pituitary body. The pituitary, I wish I knew. I had this written down, what these chambers were called, but basically the pineal chamber and the pituitary chamber, and then here we all know that the Ark of the Covenant was in there, which has got the two angels, the two hemispheres of the brain kind of touching, and then you have there's an awesome video of what happens when Mercury touches gold or touches metals. So when the Mercury would come in here and touch the Ark of the Covenant, which I believe was made of gold, mano would come out. So I don't know, guys, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here. So that's what I got for that. Okay, so where were we? So when you do this correctly, you'll end up seeing this craziness in the middle of the night or in the middle of meditation. This is what's known as the Eye of Horus. And do you see all these little feathers around him? Yeah, you're gifted one. you're able to talk to him. Your body becomes this vibrational energy, and everybody knows that when God talks to you, it sounds like a thunder. It's more like a vibration. It's like a tone, like a and you when I saw that, it took me a little while to finally tune into it, and I'll get that into that with another video. But I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing because you're there and you're like, oh my god, I made it. Like, what can I say? You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what happens, guys. And here's just another corroboration. So Jacob called the name of the place Pineal, saying, uh, uh, called the name of the place Peniel, was just another play on the word pineal. For I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered. And this is Abraham and the cerebrum, the Sarah, Abram. Jesus said, and Sarah, the Sarah went out and took with her some seeds. This is basically what's going on here. And then you have the optic chiasm, you have the pons, you have the medulla, you have the pituitary stalk, and then I'm sure this guy is Mr. Pineal right here, or this whole little area here. And yeah, so this is the his arm reaching out as the third eye, because that's how you have that vision. That's where it crosses. That's where everything's taking place. It's beautiful. It's all this stuff is hidden right in plain sight. Okay. And basically, this is the Fibonacci sequence, and it is the pineal cone. What's happening? This is what those colors will look like. Not these colors. It's more of a greenish, pinkish. If you guys have seen these colors, when you even just close your eyes, when you ascend all the fluid and you combine everything together, it's even more beautiful. It's just like, it looks like this, but it's like a flower field of leaves or petals just coming at you, and it's freaking amazing. So that's really all I have for you guys. This is what your body will turn into. This is the analemma and the unolemma, I believe that's how you call it. And then what happens is you have the analemma, is the flow of energy, the ira and the pingala, and then you have the unolemma, raising the energy all the way up. So that's cool. You guys can go look those up, the unolemma and the analemma, and they correspond to the sky too. And then that's all I have for you guys. And I have him right there on the Renaissance man, because he's got that vibrational thing going. So that's exactly what's going on there, guys. So he's become vibrationally attuned to manifesting, seeing, believing, and everything. So that is how you see aliens, ghosts, and stuff. But I guess I really left the most important thing out of, but I think it'd be more important to talk about that on another video, because it involves combining the 7 deadly sins and the 7 virtues to each chakra or gland. And that actually sounds like a great video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace out. Hope you guys hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.